Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun little game with a train. I'm doing reasonably well at this game and getting closer and closer to fulfilling all the requirements, but I've still got a way to go. As my little train comes past, with all its varied cars on it, there are, apart from those 2 toilets and these 4 at the back, there are very few duplicate cars on my train anymore. So, let's see where we are. Oh yes, I'm doing the story, which in the last episode I had to go to somewhere in Russia to pick up the steering wheel of the ship, the Pequod, the silver steering wheel apparently, and deliver it to this guy Justin, who said he was going to be in Bangkok, but apparently he's in Hong Kong. So I've just arrived at Hong Kong, and here's Justin. Hello, Catalina, you are being followed. Catalina. Probably Monica. We haven't seen her in a while. Justin. That is a problem. The world's greatest thief on your trail. I'm glad I've never crossed her. Catalina. Someone hired her. Yeah, I think his name is Jean-Marc. Justin. Interesting. I'll find out who else is hunting for the Mask of El Dorado. Nestor. Here is the item you requested. This item really belongs in a nautical museum. Justin. Here are the tickets you required. Enjoy the museum. Catalina. Let's get to Japan and get the other half of the mask. Okay, so that was the bit of the story. I am now meant to be heading to, let me zoom out, somewhere in Japan. But I can't tell where because I haven't actually accepted the step of the chapter. Make a stop at Hiroshima, Japan. Alright, well we will click on that so it marks on my map. There's where I'm going next, and we will just naturally leave Hong Kong. Where am I going? I'm going out through Okinawa, up here to Hiroshima. Once I get past this obstacle, of course. Now, at the end of the last episode, I think I had under 500,000 left by the way of cash. I've been travelling a bit. First to get the steering wheel of the Pequod for Justin, and also to collect a load of cargo for Central America, which I opened in the last episode. So I've now got 4.5 or close to 4.5 million, which is a not insignificant amount. And nothing I've got on my train from that last obstacle I want, so I'll just sell it all and keep going. Oh, if I click the depart button, it does help. Okay, so, as I was saying, in my depot now, and I've shrunk what was in my depot, all the building materials I've had, I haven't got rid of them all, because I have this horrible fear that at some point something's going to surprise me and require some of them. But I've got enough holy water, enough apples, enough bananas, enough sausages, and enough tea and utility knives for Central America. I've got a few of the tomatoes I need. I need about 1,075 in total. I need 1,000 hockey sticks. And I've got 4/10 of the amount of pasta I need. And also all the casino chips and also all the coffee beans. So next time round, I'm going to make a stop in Central America and deliver the Central American cargo. My train, as it stands, has not changed since the last episode. It's got the archery car, the Biggie Snake car, the pumpkin patch car, and a candy food car at the front, all to generate me little bits of cash, whilst it's trying to upgrade the car and the NR74, which I picked up from the Bahamas and South America lower. And then everything back there is the same as it's always been for the last quite a few episodes, because I don't normally look back there until I go to the caboose for what cars are there. That will change in the fullness of time, but right now I have completed 72% of the total quest progress, And of the South America story, I'm now 2/3 of the way through. Jean-Marc, a mysterious dealer of rare artifacts, has hired the Master Thief Monica to acquire the Mask of El Dorado at any cost. Will the gang be able to elude Monica long enough to discover El Dorado? Yeah, she stole one bit of the Mask of El Dorado. Apparently I'm looking for another bit of the Mask of El Dorado, and also the Golden Eye, which goes with the Mask of El Dorado. Before I get to the next area, or basically complete the quest part of the story that's in South America, I believe there are 3 chapters, and I'm partway through chapter 2, in and out of Taipei, because I know this because this is the South America chapter. To open the Latin American chapter, I've got to complete South America chapter 3-10, and I'm currently on 2-8. So I've got a bit of a way to go before I can complete that part of the main quest and open up the story in Latin America. Doesn't mean I can't deliver all the cargo to Central America, which will then open up Mexico, which, as I explained before the update, where it closed Mexico, it was open, and I've completed, as far as I can remember, all the cargo demands, and if not all the station upgrades, almost all the station upgrades. I currently need, according to my calculations, 29 million, or another 25 million, to complete all the station upgrades of all the places I can currently see on the map. And apart from Central America, I've delivered all the cargo there is to deliver. So I've still got, as I mentioned, I've still got to get about another 600 pasta, about another 1,000 tomatoes, and I think that's about it. Oh no, and about almost another 1,000 hockey sticks, which are in various parts of the world. And one of the reasons I want to reopen Mexico is if memory serves me correctly, there are tomatoes in Mexico, and Mexico being right next to Central America, it's easy to do loops of Mexico and just head down into Central America and deliver them than it is to do loops of the eastern side of Africa and collect them all, put them in a depot. And either works, it's just one is closer than the other. So I figure, what the heck, I'll take the easy route by opening up Mexico. But essentially this episode is going to be me doing 2 parts of the story by having delivered the item to Justin and now head to Hiroshima to see what happens, and then depending where it sends me next will depend if I try to continue with the story this episode, or just probably take a boat to South America and start delivering cargo. Or I might go do something else, like go collect some more cargo and then go to Central America and start delivering cargo. But literally the next episode is pretty much scheduled to be deliver cargo and complete as many of the requirements as I can for Central America. That is the plan, and if you know me, you know my plans never survive the real world. Something always comes up to disrupt my plans. Frequently my own stupidity, but occasionally it's not my fault. Let's see what's else going on in the world. It is too gosh darn hot to go outside today. And it's not the heat so much as the humidity in the area I live is horrific. I know that people say places like Texas, Arizona, and Nevada, it's a dry heat, and so is the set inside of an oven. However, given the choice between a dry heat and the level of humidity where I live, I will take the dry heat and a higher temperature every time. Literally, you walk a mile, as I did this morning, out in this humidity, you come back and you are drenched in sweat. It is horrific. I don't like high humidity. There again, I was born in England. We pretty much don't like anything apart from grey skies and rain. Okay, so that should be the last stop before Hiroshima, so let's see what the story says. I believe I'm going to a museum, which is why I picked up some disguise stuff earlier in the story. And then, having got the tickets from Justin, I will hopefully be able to acquire, I believe that is the euphemistic term for steal, part of the golden mask, or the second half of the golden mask, which will help me find El Dorado. Here we go. Catalina. Nesta, did you really have to break the golden skull open? Nesta, I tried to be as delicate as possible, but the alarm startled me. Oh great, competent thievery. Catalina, I'll wrap it up and put it in my bag. We need to make a decoy. Julian, with Monica following us, that's a wise plan. Esteban, do you know someone who can help with that? He should be in South America. Nesta? Guys, I'm not feeling so good. Faints. Nesta! Monica, he'll be fine. Monica, what did you do to him? Nothing. He probably just needs a spot of tea. Thanks for the bag, Catalina. Ta-ta! Nesta, what happened? Ouch, my head. Julian, Monica happened. Starting to feel like I'm an episode of Friends. Monica happened. Catalina, at least you're okay. Julian, she has both halves of the mask now, but she doesn't know the warning inside the Book of Gold. Catalina, actually the bag was a decoy. Nesta hid the mask inside his jacket pocket. Now let's get out of here before Monica figures that out. Okay. So, looks like they did manage to fool Monica in the end. Okay, I'm now meant to go to Brazil. Macapa? Macapa? Don't know how to pronounce the name of that town, but Brazil is the next place on my schedule. Don't know if I'll get there, but we'll head to the boat so we can head to South America. Oh, it does help if I hit depart once again. And then we go to the map and zoom all the way out. Okay, it's not that far from the port. I might make it in the time I tend to allow myself for episodes. I might not. What's the obstacle? Oh, it's not the deer. I thought it might be the deer and the lizard prince, but apparently not. Well, while we're chugging along, no, we're almost in the next town. After we chugged through the next town, I'll just sell the stuff I've just picked up. And well, okay, there was going to be a tiny gap in this wonderful episode because I had an important phone call which came up whilst I was recording this episode, which I needed to deal with. Strangely enough, so I did. Oh, and here we go with the wonderful, one of the last bugs which actually bugs me. Your train tends to drag scenery along in Japan. It will disappear once I take a boat ride to South America, which will be coming up shortly, but it does drag scenery along. Okay, so I do apologise for the small lack of continuity at a part of this trip across Japan into South America. But family is family, and somehow they're slightly more important than me playing a game. I know they think that way, so I tend to agree with them. Let me just sell all the stuff that's on my train because I don't want it, and get out of Tokyo to the Asia East port, where I can stop dragging this scenery along with my train. And of course I've got to see if I can find whichever software it was that I used last time when I needed to put two episodes together, or two files together to make a single episode. I've definitely got it because I used it when I was recording XCOM Long War. I used it a few times recording XCOM Long War, to be honest. So I'm sure it's still lying around somewhere. I just don't remember what it's called and where it is and how I use it. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. Okay, so we're now heading to South America Upper. And this town down here, whatever is the shortest possible route, please. Yes, and that horn type sound you may be able to hear is this train makes that sound when it comes into stations or leaves stations. It's kind of weird, to be honest, but that is life. Oh, of course. It's another one of the bugs which is, it's intermittent, but when you come close to a port, leaving a port normally, for the first station or two, you tend to have your speed cut and your cargo capacity cut down, because my cargo capacity should be 296 on my train. It's currently 176. It's something to do with the areas around ports. I don't know why it does that. It is a bug. But it's one of those bugs which is occasionally mildly irritating, but it disappears pretty fast. Whether it disappears after the next station or the one after, or somewhere in between. Once we get far enough away from a port, it does go back to normal. That's why my speed is currently 211 miles an hour rather than its more normal 260 odd, I think. Also, if you run into an obstacle whilst you're in this type of area, rather than get the usual, as I do currently, 12 items off an obstacle I clear, you end up with 5 or 6. And nope, still not clear of it. Hopefully I will be shortly, so my train moves a bit faster. Let's have a speed boost anyway. And here we are, back at my normal speed of, well, I say normal, my normal speed for South America, which is 268. And its boosted speed of 334. That is because this, let me drag the train forward a bit, this car gives me plus 10 speed when equipped in South America. I believe the NR74 gives me plus 1 speed when equipped in South America. No, Central America. That one doesn't count yet. So, forget what I said about the NR74. I was wrong. Oh yes, just to show that. Right, see, my cargo is now back up to 296. As soon as the speed changed back to normal, my cargo would have changed back to its normal capacity. Like I say, it's just one of those little bugs. Can be mildly irritating when you want to buy something in the first station after a port, and you don't notice the fact it's done that, and all of a sudden you find your train doesn't have the cargo capacity that you were expecting. You don't have any space left because it's cut down the space in your cargo capacity. But it's a minor little thing. It's been around since before the major update. It's been around as long as I've been playing this game. But it doesn't always happen. It happens intermittently. Some ports you'll come out of and no problems whatsoever. So, let's see what else is going on. How far away am I? 1, 2, 3, 4 stations. And that will be chapter 2-9. Which hopefully will get me near the beginning of chapter 3 of the story. I might as well see how much money is in my caboose right about now. Might be useful. Even though I'm not planning on buying any cars this episode. 143,000. out of a possible 500,000. 143,000 is nothing to sniff at. Gets me up to almost 4.5 million. Most of which, admittedly, I am going to spend on upgrading stations in South America. So when I complete the South American chapters, I can then fully complete South America, the region, just because I like completing regions. I think the next region after that, I will go check rather than assume. Where's South America? That's South America. Oh, the one after that is Latin America, strangely enough. Before it moves on to the Middle East. And then Southeast Asia. It doesn't appear to have a story at that point. And that's the last area there is. Oh, is that coming into a station? And now I'm leaving a station. Other thing I was going to mention, photographs. I'm now up to 182 out of 191, which is 9 left to go. But in the list of stations, and it's a long scroll down here, so you'll have to excuse the lot of scrolling. And not that one, there are a few. I don't know where the King Park War Memorial is at the moment. I'll have to go look that one up. But out of the photos I've yet to find, Panama Canal will be coming up shortly. Where is it? The Taj Mahal, which is in or around New Delhi. I haven't been able to get the Taj Mahal. Now, as I discovered during one of the photographs in South America, I think it was in Santiago, it seems to depend on which side of a city or a station you enter from. Because I went through, I'll show the station, it's over here, somewhere, that one, where's my depot? Right, this one. This Santiago. I entered this from this side, the right side, multiple times. Never saw it. I can't remember if I came in from the left or from the top to the top down. It was one of the other directions. I came in and there was a photograph to be taken, but I only spotted it coming in from a certain direction. So I'm assuming the same is true of the Taj Mahal. So I will have to try the multiple different directions coming into New Delhi and pay attention on the way in, and hopefully I will actually spot the Taj Mahal. If I don't, I will be mildly irritable because I know where it should be. I went and looked it up on Google Maps just to make sure I knew where it should be. So at some point there will be 2 or 3 photographs, I imagine, left from everything, and I will have to scour the world for where they are and go into the right cities from the right angles to get them all. But with only 9 left to go, and I imagine there are going to be 3 or 4 at least in Central America, which, as I mentioned previously, I will be going to in the next episode to deliver a load of cargo. So hopefully I will get 3 or 4 more photographs. And here we go with the last bit of the story for this episode. Catalina. So we have one half of the mask and Monica has the other. Esteban. Where did he come from? What's our next step? Nesta. The golden eye is hidden somewhere. That's the final piece we need. Catalina. Then we'll figure out what to do about the other half of the mask. Esteban. There's a display at the Museum of Gold going on this month in Bogota, Colombia. Nesta, what are the odds that the eye is inside the Royal Golden Fabergé egg? Catalina, pretty good I'd say. We'll need a fake egg to make a swap for the real one. Nesta, I guess we'll also need some stealth gear to go along with this mission. Monica. Jean-Marc, I'm closing in acquiring the other half of the mask. Excuse me. Jean-Marc, I'll make my way to the location the map said to wear the mask at. I'll give you my coordinates when I arrive. Monica. Agreed. Now, have Catalina meet you in the Caribbean. Justin, I'll handle the rest. Justin. Of course, Monica. Oh, he's playing both sides by the looks of it. So, that is that part of the quest done. Yeehaw! So that's South America Chapter 2 complete. So now I'm going to make a stop at Sapporo in Japan. Don't know why, but I just have to. So that can wait until at least an episode after next. But it's nice to be into Chapter 3, because it's only going to have 9-10 actions, purely because I know it ends at Chapter 3-10, because that's when the story begins in the next area. Okay, well, that is where I'm going to end this episode. Yes, let me pick a direction that takes me, preferably not through Bogota. Oh, I do have to go to Bogota eventually, I don't have to go to it now. I'm going to be heading to this depot to pick up the stuff I need for the Central American area. So with that said, done. That's why I end this episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed the progress of the story. And hopefully I'll see you down the track for more of Tiny Rails in the near future. Cheerio!